Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group E. Today we will present about the hazardous waste management in Oceanography 1B laboratory. Okay, group member consists of myself, Aiman Ashraf, Raja Lachumi, Nurul Nabila, Wan Muhammad Faiz and Nur Suzana. Okay, this is our table of content. Consists of introduction to laboratory background, management of scheduled waste and conclusion. Okay, for this assignment, we choose Oceanography B1 laboratory as our study location. This laboratory is located in the Faculty of Environment and Marine Science building. This laboratory, which was managed by Encik Muhammad Naim bin Muhammad Nasir and began operation at 2013. The majority of the students that use this lab are enrolled in marine science course, which are 60% of them are degree student, 30% of them are master student, and 10% of them are PhD student. Because of the marine science student that utilize the laboratory, most of students are conducted with chemical. The laboratory also are the chemical laboratory that contain the various of scheduled waste.
Next is the current situation or problem within the community. First problem is students do not practice the safety guidelines that have been set by the laboratory. This will cause unsayable things to happen to students, such as injuries from the acid splash. The second problem is improper use of personal protective equipment (PPE). Due to the lack of knowledge, students tend to ignore the use of PPE. The last problem is students also neglect to complete the course form before going into the lab. The course form is crucial to know how many students sign up for each lab session.
Okay, now we move on to the management of scheduled waste. Malaysia is developing country with the 22 most efficient economy in the world. Hazardous wastes are inescapable in the country that engage in several industrial activities such as manufacturing, building, agriculture, mining and quarrying. Hazardous waste is classified as scheduled waste in Malaysia. Scheduled waste are any undesired material in solid, semi-solid, liquid or gas form that if emitted, release deposits or discharged into the environment can pose a risk to humans and the environment. Okay, there are scheduled wastes that have been produced from Oceanography 1B lab in Faculty of Science and Marine Environment. Some of them are as below. Okay, the first one is SW103, which is waste of batteries containing cadmium and nickel or mercury or lithium. The waste is battery AA, battery AAA, battery C, battery 9V, button or cell battery, impact drill battery. Okay, the second one is SW109, which is waste containing mercury or its compound. The waste is barometer, mercury, thermometer which is broken, and sphygmomanometers. Okay, next is SW206, which is paint in organic acid, acetic acid, boric acid, chloric acid, chromic acid, fluoric acid, formic acid, hydrochloric acid, hydrochloric acid, hydrocyanic acid, hydrofluoric acid, hydrogen sulfate ion, hydriodic acid, molybdic acid, nitric acid, nitrous acid. Okay, next is SW402, which is penalkalis with pH more or equal to 11.5, which are corrosive or hazardous. The wastes are ammonia, barium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, diethylamine, lithium hydroxide, methylamine, potassium hydroxide, pyridine, rubidium hydroxide, sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydroxide, and strontium hydroxide. Okay, this is the proper way for the storage of hazardous substance or waste, and only lab assistants or person in charge is allowed to handle it. Students are not allowed at all to manage or handle anything related to the storage or disposal of hazardous substance or waste.
Next part is the details of the program for improvement of scheduled waste management. Firstly, my group chose to make an awareness campaign among the students who use the Oceanography 1B lab. The point in the poster are the common mistakes that have been made by students in the Oceanography lab, said by the assistant in the lab who is managing the scheduled waste in the lab. This poster will be pasted in the laboratory for students' information. Moreover, this action can be shown as a stand-alone technique of increasing awareness, or they can be utilized to entice the audience to be vigilant in order to avoid mishaps. Lastly, from this awareness campaign, we hope that students will be more aware of how to handle chemical substances. Next slide shows the poster that we have prepared for this awareness campaign. These are normal mistakes that have been made by students in the Oceanography lab, said by the assistant in the lab who is managing the scheduled waste in the lab. So we are looking the solution to solve these problems. Firstly, students have to fill out the laboratory form before using the lab to do an experiment. Then students have to avoid the splash of chemicals. Students have to follow the steps given to avoid spillage. Moreover, students have to wear personal protective equipment properly, which is students have to fold the glove at the end of the wrist. This is because we do not want the chemical substances flowing to the body. The folds of the glove will accumulate the chemical liquid that flows down the wrist. In this slide, the photo on the left shows that one of our group members put the poster on the toxic storage rack. And the photo on the right shows the poster that we paste on the rack.
In conclusion, we learn more about the hazardous waste that in this lab produced because of the studies investigate that we conduct. In addition, we are aware of the right technique to eliminate hazardous trash. Hazardous waste comes in variety of form, and there are various ways to rid of it. There are a special method of getting rid in hazardous waste. Accident and environmental pollution can be both avoided by properly disposing of hazardous garbage. There are some faults in our research as well. To begin with, the laboratory manager were very busy and difficult to reach. Investigate depends in critical to our ability to reach